Hey, how's it going guys? I'm back with a new video, and just a quick disclaimer before I start this video. I just want to say that all these Pokemon are not going to be perfect nature. Some of them might be, some won't. They won't have perfect movesets, they won't all be level 100. So take what I say with a grain of salt when you're looking at these, because what you're going to see isn't perfect. I will have down in the comments, not in the comments, the description I mean, a link for Smoggin. It will have all the perfect movesets you want, all the perfect quote unquote, but what you mainly use. So I just want to kind of go over what makes a good team. So last video I was talking about rain teams, and I had some questions. People were asking, well, what if someone tries putting a lot of one type on one team, like the rain team? It has 4 to 5 waters on it, depending on how you want to build it. And I mean, if you look at it from a paper stand, like if you look at it on paper, it might not look great when you look at something else, but when you try putting it into a battle, it synergizes really well, and that's one of your main things. So the things you want to look at are typing, move sets, whether they're a physical special attacker, whether they're a special defense or defensive tank, whether they have a lot of speed, whether they don't have a lot of speed. Um, their stats really matter. You want to look at abilities, because abilities come into play a lot. What they're weak to, what they're strong against. So the first team I'm going to show you is I think is a really good team, besides kind of computer tops, because I've been iffy about this guy since I put him on the team. But if you notice, a lot of it is water, but a lot of it runs together because you have your 2 swift swimmers. You have a drizzle Pokemon, or you have 3 swift swimmers actually. But you have 2 special attack and swift swimmers, a physical attack and swimmer, a special attacker, that's a sweeper, and another this is a cleanup physical Pokemon. So with this team, it's more offensive with 2 kind of bulkier Pokemon right here, the Kyogre and the Ludicolo. But besides that, this seems a more aggressive team. This is more, I'm going to try going as fast, as quick, as hard. It's not about stalling, it's not about taking hits. You want to deal the hits, not let them deal one back. And if you look at their movesets, a lot of it kind of originates around each other. A lot of it has the water move. And you might be thinking, oh, what if they throw out a grass Pokemon? Well, a lot of them also have counters for those. You have Ice Beam, you have X Scissors, Ice Beam again, Ice Beam Signal Beam. This one, that doesn't have anything, but the Minitrick has Flamethrower on it. This has X Scissors, so it has a lot of things to counter your biggest threats. What about electric Pokemon? Well, 9 times out of 10, electric Pokemon aren't going to be super bulky. You do have your occasional bulky Zapdos, you do have the Amphoses and Electabuzz, but those aren't as common in our current meta, so usually you can one-shot them or hit them really bad, and then you can usually take a hit with Kingdra, with Ludicolo from those two, and definitely with the Zapdos you can just suck up the Thunderbolts. Swampert also, if you put it on this team. So that's one example of a good team. Priority moves, high speed, all of it's doubled, a decently bulky Pokemon to add into the team, and overall, I mean, a lot of power it can deal out. So the next thing I'm going to show you is more of the common meta teams right now. Usually consist of two to four tanks, in my opinion, are what the better ones are running, anywhere in that range. A physical sweeper and a special sweeper. And depending on how you run it, if you're running the 2 tanks, you usually run 2 of the physical, 2 of the special, or you run 2 of one of the other, and then another support Pokemon, another defensive Pokemon, another entry hazard Pokemon, stuff like that. Or cleaners. Scissor is a really great cleanup Pokemon Bullet Punch. So with this team, you do have your defensive tank. Also, he can do entry hazards. This is actually a really good moveset. The only thing I would change is Stealth Rocks and Spikes. Probably isn't working perfect right now. And Brave Bird, probably change that to Toxic and just stall out. So with Pokemon like this, you need to switch them every now and then. if they throw out something like uh, yeah, Jolteon, a Manectric, certain special attackers, this thing will not handle them that well, so you want to kind of swap them out with something. Uh, you have your defensive tank, my bad, your special defensive tank, which is your opposite of Skirmy. If you notice they have a lot of special defensive Pokemon, toss this guy out, start taking some hits, start doing some, start toxicing them, Thunder Wave, heal yourself up. I think you can wish other Pokemon. I don't know if it's freaking perfect or not. But overall, this Pokemon's a really good, just special defensive tank. It can take hits. Snorlax also a good option. Melodic. And then you kind of want a really good physical sweeper. Now, when I say physical sweeper, I'm not meaning Pokemon like Dragonite or Pokemon like Sizer or Pokemon like Gyarados, where they do a Dragon Dance or a Swords Dance and then start attacking. I'm talking about Pokemon that you just toss them out and they just start hitting. So, you can run a Arcanine two ways. Mine is a defensive tank, just to give a little bit more support over to Skirmy. But Uh, you can also run him a Flare Blitz Adamant build, a Flare Blitz Jolly build. You have Thunderfang, Outrage if you want that, Extreme Speed, really quick Pokemon that hits really hard. Or you can, this team I have built is a 3-tank team. And then you have your special attack sweeper. Starmie is really quick, 362 speed, when it's timid, 31, and EV trained. At level 100. It has access to Skull, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Rapid Spin, Ice Beam, a lot of versatility. Uh, and it hits really hard. It has good high special attack with a really high speed. So I think this is a great sweeper. Onto your more, you're gonna probably do a Sword Stance, then hit, or with Sizer, you're probably just gonna Bullet Punch to clean up Pokemon, depending on how you, like what situation you're in, depending on what you're doing. Um, if you think you can take a hit, let's say you're facing another Scissor, and he's low on health, doesn't have Roost, you've already scouted his moves. You could just Swords Dance him, take a hit, and deal a strong Bullet Punch after that. With Scyther, he is kind of risky in the current meta. There's a lot of Arcanines. You have Salamence kind of creeping in there. I don't know if they have access to Fire Fang or not. But you do have your occasional Manectrics also with Flamethrower. Cleafables kind of lurk in the background with Flamethrower also. So the sizes you have to be kind of careful about, but it can do a lot of damage. And then onto like your Manectric Jolteons. This is a good special attack sweeper again. Um, and in a lot of the metas, I've been running into skirmies more than chances, so with this team I was kind of showing more of a special attack based, even though you do have your Arcanine, which can be another physical. But with Manectrics and Jolteons, you usually Volt Switch out of bad situations, Discharge and Thunderbolt to stun them and do a lot of electric damage. And you also have access to your Shadow Ball, your Flamethrower, stuff like that. So with this team, you kind of are looking at the typings. You have Steel Flying, Bug Flying, Water Psychic, Fire, Normal, Electric, so there's not a lot of overlapping, and there's a lot of type coverage with their movesets. This team is really versatile. It can handle a lot of things. If I run into a rain team with this team, I'm not going to be too scared. I do have a lot of answers for them. Um, and currently, Chansey is your best answer to a rain team right now. A lot of their Pokemon are special attackers. So onto a, what I would say is not a good team. I have seen this team run a lot. Variations of it ran a lot. And I feel like it's the newer players that run this more often. The more experienced players, they're not going to touch this. In fact, they don't run most of these Pokemon down here besides Snorlax. But, in my opinion, this is a not great team. Yes, you might be looking, oh, it has 3 pseudo legendaries. And if I had a Metagross real quick, I would have thrown it for Altaria, so I could have had 4 up there. But with this team, there's a lot of weaknesses. There are 4 dragons on the team, my bad. 3 flying Pokemon, a normal Pokemon, a rock dark, and a ground. There's a lot of weaknesses to fighting, a lot of weaknesses to ice. You're going to get hurt quick. Starmie is a big prevalent Pokemon right now. Sizer is a big prevalent Pokemon. They have the ice moves, they have the fire moves. Rain teams are out there, so you're running into a lot of ice again if you're running this. And I'm not saying don't run a Tyranitar, don't run Flygon. What I'm trying to say is, if you're going to build a team, focus on what the meta is and what you feel like you're going to run into. You cannot predict everything. There's no perfect team out there because I can run a team that counters one person's team, player A's team. Player B comes around with a team that perfectly counters me and beats me. It's about how you make your team and how you play through the battles. So for example with this, like this one, it has Moonblast, Dragon's Breath. So it's mainly aimed to kill dragons, and okay, that's fine. You go to this one and it has Outrage, Aqua Tail, Thunder Punch. You can fight off a Starmie, but you're going to have to get a Dragon Dance off before that to get the boosted speed. You're going to have to uh, make sure that you one-shot Thunder Punch. There's a lot that goes into it. Flygon, you don't have Dragon Dance, so really, in my opinion, I would say don't run him yet. If we get Dragon Dance before Gen 4 comes out, run him. Run Flygon. It would be much greater of a team boost than your Dragonites, your Salamence, your Altarias. He does have Levitate, he's not weak to ground moves. He does have the 4 times ice weakness, but if you can get a Dragon Dance or 2 off Jolly Nature with that max speed, and you can get a Life Orb on him, he can do a lot of damage to your opponent's team. Tyranitar, I wouldn't say run him, but I'm not going to say don't run him. He's a great Pokemon in my opinion, a lot of weaknesses, but if you know how to play him, if you play smart, if you think about what you're doing, he can be really devastating. He has Sandstream ability, so in a way that's really good right now. I've noticed a lot more rain teams coming out, and he counters them perfectly. If you look at, I have Pelipper over here, 163 base speed, so you get uh, a slow Tyranitar, right? 155 speed on this one. With weather, your slower speed Pokemon gets its weather ability off, so Sandstream would go off there. And again, against a Kyogre, you get Sandstream off, he's not getting his Drizzle, which is really good for you. And I want to run a Sandstorm team, I'll be honest, but Arena Trap's not a thing, and there's a few other things I'm waiting for. And once those things come out, I feel like Sand teams are going to be really good. Gen 4, once we get Gen 4, Garchomp, Tyranitar, Dugtrio, going to be an amazing trio. There's also a few other Pokemon that I'm not going to mention yet. I'm going to let you guys figure those out later. But I think that would be a really good time for Tyranitar to make its rise in the competitive scene. With Salamence, I love Salamence. I'm a Gen 3 gamer. That's when I came to Pokemon. That's what I grew up in. So this is kind of my dragon besides Rayquaza. And it's known as the poor man's Rayquaza for a reason. It has a little bit lower stats, and it has a lot of versatility. The only reason I'd say not run this right now is because you have to breed it specifically. You have to make sure you get all the specific stats. So it takes a lot of work for this thing to be good. And if you don't want to pay through that work, don't even bother running him. And then Snorlax, he doesn't have Curse unless you breed him with a Slowpoke that has Curse. If you can do that, really great Pokemon in my opinion. But together, these Pokemon do not work that well as an entire team. Now, let's say you run Salamence and Snorlax. Yeah, that's fine. If you run Tyranitar or Salamence Snorlax, that's still fine. I would not run these five together on a team by themselves. So then I'm gonna kind of go over and describe more of what typing Pokemon are, like what roles they play in the meta. So Aerodactyl's a really quick Pokemon. He's a physical sweeper, as I mentioned before. He's one of the easiest things to think of when you think of a fast physical Pokemon. High speed, high attack. Next Pokemon is a Starmie. It's the best right now physical sweeper we have besides Jolteon. Um, and Jolteon has a specific role, I would say. Starmie can go into more things. He has Rapid Spin to get rid of the rocks, the spikes, the sticky webs. Anything that they're throwing at you, he gets rid of it. Um, so more into your defensive tanks. I say Golem's still a good defensive tank. He does get two-shot a lot, but he does have sturdy ability, which is one of the big things you look into your defensive tanks. The Skirmy doesn't have sturdy, but that's usually what you run on it. He also has the stealth rocks and explosions to get out of sticky situations. A really good special defensive tank that I feel is underused right now is Umbreon. I do kind of dish on Umbreon. I don't think it should be high class, but I don't think it should be overlooked as much as it is. He does have two distinctive builds. He has the Assurance build, which this moveset right here, or not moveset, this nature is more set to is an Assurance set. And then he has this really strong special attacking set. Just depends on how you want to build him. You can also build him a mix. He has a lot of similar stats, and he's pretty good at special defensive. Melodic's also another good option. And these are more your Dragon Dancers, your uh, Swords Dancers, stuff like that. Your physical Pokemon that need need a turn or two, just to start boosting themselves. Dragon Dance on a Gyarados is great, in my opinion. The same with Charizard, the same with a few others. Now, I wouldn't say use Charizard because Stealth Rocks is used everywhere right now, and that's 50% of your health gone. But if you want to run a Charizard, I'd throw it out first, Dragon Dance it, start swinging on them. Same with Gyarados, Dragon Dance, start swinging. Um, so I couldn't think of a great special attack setter, or setup Pokemon, I mean. So I kind of went with Clefable here. It does that, but a little bit differently. It has Cosmic Power, which boosts its defense and special defense by one stage. You can do it 6 times, so it goes up 6. Uh, Great in the late games if you can keep him going up. You can bulk the hitch out. Moonlight to keep his HP up, and that's one thing I always think is good with Pokemon like Scissors, Clefable, Suicune, if you want to run a Calm Mind version. Uh, Pokemon like that, if you want to boost its thing up, I would suggest either running a Wish Chansey or running HP boosting moves on it, like on that exact Pokemon. So I'm going to go into more of your first turn Pokemon, stuff like your weather setters. You have Drizzle, you have Sandstorm, uh, Camerupt, I think it is. I might be wrong on what one. It's a fire Pokemon from, no, Torkoal, my bad, it's Torkoal. Has the ability Drought. That's for your sunny days, and we don't have anything with snow warning. If we get hidden abilities, the Alolan Ninetales will have snow warning, and that sets up your hail. So that's your weathers right there. And these Pokemon are really good to throw out first if you want to start your weather. I will admit, you don't have to throw them out first. You have other options usually in these teams. You can throw out other things to start trapping them, to start um, trying to set up certain little plays that you want to do. And then you have your entry hazard setters. You have your like stealth rock, spikes, sticky webs, stuff like that, just to start affecting your opponent's Pokemon when they come out. I think these are going to be more of your sleepers. I think these Pokemon are still really prevalent right now since we don't have a dedicated sleep clause. Spore, really good move, 100% accuracy, a lot better than Sleep Powder, a lot better than Poison Powder, a lot, I think Paralyze Powder? I might be wrong on that one. I might even be making up the move. But I think Breloom's a really good Pokemon. Timid nature, or not timid, jolly nature. As fast speed as you can get him, and he can get spores out before they can make moves. Really great thing to do. Same with Venomoth, it's a sleep powder. Stun Spore is what I was thinking of. Poison powder. This thing has Quiver Dance, so when they're sleeping, you can start setting up, and when they go to sleep, you can either decide, oh, I'm going to sleep powder because you're going to switch, or you can think, oh, I'm going to Quiver Dance because you're going to switch, and then I'll have more speed, and then I'll sleep powder you again. So I just think that this will kind of help people realize that, hey, my uh, my relaxed uh, Charizard, right, on my Sunny Day team or my this team, is not the greatest thing. So maybe I should try switching out for maybe this Pokemon. And that's kind of what I want to show. I want to show that there are a lot more options out there for you guys. And I want to state that when you're running a team and you start losing a lot of battles, kind of, it, I usually record my matches, no matter what they are. And if you can't do that, that's fine. Just kind of write down a summary of what happened. And if you look back at that, and you start realizing, okay, this is where I made a mistake. I could have done this. I could have done that. Just start looking at stuff like that, and I promise you, you'll get better. Um, I wasn't good when I first started Pokemon. I promise you. I still don't think I'm that good. But it's just I do a lot of work. I put in a lot of hours thinking, okay, this, and this, and I'll start testing things, and I'll start going online, and I'll start saying, hey, can we do this, and this, and you run a team like this, and they'll be like, okay. Um, so that's kind of what I wanted to show, something kind of to show what a bad team versus a good team looks like, um, how to make your team better, focus a lot on the EV training, focus a lot on your natures, on your move sets, on your abilities. Different abilities do different things. There are some abilities like Illuminate that do nothing for you. It has actually no in-battle benefit. But other abilities like Technician and Intimidate, Sturdy, Inner Focus, Natural Cure, Levitate, stuff like that, where it affects your Pokemon and your teams to help benefit them. Most abilities are not there to hinder you, besides Slackings. Slackings hinders himself a lot. Uh, and that's about it for right now. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, you can always hit me up on Discord, find me on Twitter, or leave something in the comments, and y'all have a wonderful day.